Welcome to the Kingdom Corner. I'm Andrew, and with me, as always, is my good friend Dale. And as we are preparing for the Monday night game against the Saints, how you feeling about that one, Dale?
Man, I love that the Chiefs are on all these primetime games. It's fantastic. Finally getting the recognition. I know people are probably worn out by the Chiefs, but I can never get worn out on a primetime standalone game. I mean, just come on. I think it was this their third one this season.
It's something like that. It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. 4 games in, yeah. 5th or 5 games in, yeah. So, yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
They got a lot of them this year, that's for sure. So, today we're going to be talking about that matchup against the Saints, looking at some players that the Saints have that used to play for the Chiefs, or maybe just some players that used to play for some Chiefs rivals and aren't so much a fan of the Chiefs still.
Yeah.
But all that, and then we're also getting into some Chiefs trivia and some history, so come hang out with us.
Mahomes looks to throw it. Pump faking right side. He wants it. A comeback cut. It is caught by Kelsey. Touchdown! Kansas City. The game is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are champions. How about those Chiefs?
All right, Dale. So Chiefs, Saints, Monday Night Football, Arrowhead Stadium. Does it get much better than that?
It does not. I know there's like every time when I lived in the city there in Kansas City, there was just a buzz in the air. I mean, it just felt different just knowing that there was going to be a game that night. ESPN coming to town, have Joe and Troy on the call. I mean, it's just something magical is happening.
Yeah, for sure. So, I don't know about magical, but there's something happening.
There's something happening. Yeah, just give everyone time to get going. And then, just be able to watch the Chiefs. And everyone gets to watch them because everyone watches Monday Night Football.
Yeah, if you don't, you're not a fan of football, right?
That is true.
Yeah, all right. So there's a lot of things with the Chiefs that we're going to get into. But first off, let's do a few questions here that we got.
Okay.
So, there's been a lot of talk about the Chiefs rosters because of all the injuries. I mean, we've lost our top 2 wide receivers this year.
Yeah.
We've lost our starting running back. And now it appears that some more people are banged up too. Kareem Hunt is now on the injury report with a shoulder. And so there's just so much going on there. So they have now activated or designated Clyde Edwards-Helaire to return to the 53-man roster.
Okay. Breaking news.
I don't know about breaking. It's been out for a little while. But either way, some news for you. They've designated him to come back, but I almost think that might be a little bit in response to Kareem Hunt's injury.
Yeah.
And what he's been going through here. But either way, Clyde's coming back. So with Clyde coming back, do you think that is going to change how they're going to do the run game at all?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so you think he's going to be getting a lot of touches, huh?
No.
Well, then why is it changing the run game if he's not going to get touches?
Because this year and last year, the Chiefs really changed their focus on how they played, I think, and we've kind of seen it morph, and where it's been really cool to see where you see the Buffalo Bills and they have been so Josh Allen dependent. Even the Chiefs were with early Pat was like they were so Patrick Mahomes dependent. Like you got to make a spectacular play, and now it's more so where, hey Pat, if you can make 1 or 2 spectacular plays of the game, that would be great. And then kind of rely on that running game and that defense is what the Chiefs have really been their bread and butter here. And so Clyde is probably a fantastic person and probably a great guy. And I'm glad that he's back because of the mental health stuff that he was walking through and things like that. And so I'm happy that he's back. But he may not be a first-round pick in the NFL. And that's what we gave.
He is a first-round pick.
He probably should not have been a first-round pick. And I just think, man, he's a great guy, but I just think what he's going to give you is not much production. And he has had some good games, but I don't think it's consistent enough. Does that make sense? Is that too mean?
Well,
am I being mean?
It's maybe a little. But
okay, all right. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean. I just it doesn't excite me, and so I think it changes the way Patrick plays because now we're not only asking you to make 1 or 2 spectacular plays a game. We're going to put the game on your back.
I don't think that's not what they're asking him to do when Clyde's in the game.
I think it is.
No, okay, Dale. Even when Clyde was healthy, he wasn't getting a lot of touches, anyways.
Well, that's what I'm saying because they're expecting more out of Patrick.
No, so you think that they were expecting, or do you expect Clyde to make those spectacular plays?
I think they want Clyde to be a Pacheco or a Kareem Hunt.
I don't think they do. I think they know who they got now, and that's
well, now they do. But I think if it was a perfect world, I think they would want him to be more productive.
Oh well, doesn't every team want every player to be more productive?
But because now he's getting more of the snaps, he's not as productive as Kareem and Pacheco are, and so. And it's Carson Steele out of the doghouse. I mean, that's where you have to see that as well, too.
Yeah, Clyde's going to get some touches, but it's going to be very limited. Him and Carson Steele are going to be battling for that third spot.
Okay.
So unless Kareem Hunt does not make the game, then we'll see a lot more of them. But
right.
But I don't think that they're sitting back thinking, you know what, Patrick, you got to make up for Clyde because Clyde is basically worthless, and we're just putting him in here just to put him in here.
I never said those words. You said those words. Let's make it clear. You said those words. I've never said those words. But I think, I guess I was under the impression that Kareem Hunt wasn't going to go, and then you're stuck. Right. So if that was, you're going to depend a lot more on Clyde than you would. But also, you probably have a good point that he's just coming back, so they're probably going to work him into the game. But Kareem Hunt can't get healthy. I guess I'm looking more down the road. So.
All right. Well, our bye is going to come at a great time because our bye comes after this week.
Yes.
So a lot of these, man, when I first saw that schedule, I thought, man, I hate having an early bye. I'd rather have it later in the season. The guys are more banged up, get more rest. But at this point, I'm like, maybe it's good it's early because we have so many guys banged up so early that get them a little bit healthier, and hopefully they can maintain their health throughout the remainder of the season too. But yeah, I think I was under the impression that Hunt might still go. He's still questionable. Okay. He has not been ruled out, so he's basically 50-50 right now.
Well, I just picked him up in every fantasy league I'm in.
All right.
And now I'm going to have to
I know
make some adjustments now.
Well, hopefully it works out for you.
All right. Yeah.
Unless you play me, then I hope it doesn't.
Well, I tell you what, I've in every league I'm in, he was open. He was available. I'm like, what are these people doing? Obviously, they're not real football fans.
Obviously, you're not either. He wasn't on your team either.
Well, I picked him up.
Well, maybe they tried to, and you just beat him in the waivers.
Oh, that is true. That is true. So, maybe I did. So,
but all right, before we get too far down the fantasy trail here, so Clyde is going to get some touches. If Hunt is out, he's going to get a lot more. But if Hunt is playing, he's going to get very few. And the only reason they're going to give him more at this point is because he's going to be the healthiest back coming into the game.
Right. Yeah.
So, got 0 hits on his body this year. So it could be good in the long run for the Chiefs, have another body back there, especially to make do until Pacheco gets back. So, and we're still not sure even about Rashee Rice now. I mean,
ooh, what great news.
I don't know. Is it?
Well, hypothetically, great news.
Yeah, hypothetically. I mean, we just don't know.
We don't know,
Because those ACL tears and stuff, you can go in there and you can see a tear like, all right, yep, it's what we thought it was.
Yeah.
There you go. And now they're just like, let's go get a second opinion or third or fourth opinion.
And I know Andy Reid had said something about, hey, we're just trying to get the swelling down and so we get a clearer image. And so maybe might be a lot of swelling that they can't see. Or I heard something interesting that they need a wide receiver, but they don't want to tell people how desperate they are if they let people know that Rashee Rice is out for the year. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, that's a little gamesmanship. So I didn't think about that, but I was like, oh, that'd be,
Yeah, that'd be an interesting take for sure.
Yeah.
So speaking about wide receivers here, so there's a lot of talk going on about who the Chiefs should get or if they should get someone. We talked about this briefly last time.
Yeah.
And we were both under the impression that they had the people on their roster to do what they need to do. And I still think that.
Yeah.
So, but with that said, there's a lot of talk about, maybe a reunion with Tyreek Hill. Maybe going out getting Davante Adams. Maybe going and getting a guy like Amari Cooper from the Browns.
Oh, yeah. So, or Diop from the Titans.
Or them, but 4 games into the season, if a team's trading you, they're basically saying, we have no shot this year. 4 games into the season. So I don't know that many teams are going to be trading this early on. And if they do, you're going to be getting a king's ransom for him because
Yeah.
they're not going to be willing to say our season's over 4 games in.
Yeah. And the only one that I think we see possibly trading sooner than later would be Davante Adams, just because he has made it clear he doesn't want to play, and the Raiders have made it clear that they don't want him.
Yeah.
And so that would be the only one I think that could happen here in the next week or so. But we'll see. We'll just watch and see. But yeah, I think they did push the trade deadline. And you can confirm this. You probably know. You always know like those little things. But I think they pushed the trade deadline a week. So I think November 5th is the trade deadline instead of the end of October. This is what I've heard.
I believe that's correct.
And so I think that will be big, because then that'll give like a whole nother. That will be how many games? We'll be like 6 or 7 games, 8 games into the season. And so you kind of know, hey, we're 1-7. This is not our year. Let's get some picks and let's rebuild.
Yeah, well, it depends on which side of the coin you're on. If you're a team that needs someone and you have to wait another week to get somebody you really need, you might lose a few more games before you can get that person.
Right. So are you okay with the Chiefs going all in? Not hemorrhaging the franchise like the Rams did a couple years ago, but are you okay with them giving a little more just because of the three-peat? Or are you thinking like more of the future? Hey, I don't want to because I'm always like, hey, I don't want to sacrifice the future, but because of the three-peat insight, never been done.
Right.
If we got a Tyreek Hill or Davante Adams, and we had to give up a first, a second, and a 5th.
Oh man,
I know. I'm just saying that's a lot. Would you be willing?
Man,
or would you be? Obviously you don't have control of that, but would you be okay as a fan to be like, you know what?
You know what? If Brett Veach does it, I'm going to trust Veach because he's proven that he knows how to put together a roster. So if he's able to do that and say, you know what, and he feels like it's a good move, then I'm going to trust him because I honestly think he is the best GM in the game.
There you go.
I don't know that anybody can put together a roster year after year and rebuild an offensive line twice, in one off season.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess
any room like that.
So you're fine if he doesn't do anything, or would you be mad?
I'd be fine either way.
Okay. All right. That's what I figured. I figured Brett Veach we trust. We say that a lot. I know he's a big fan of the podcast. So
that's right. He gets our opinions all the time from here.
So we trust, and Brett Veach we trust because I think the same thing. I think go back to your point where you're asking, I do think we have the team to ride the wave. If Hollywood Brown comes back a little sooner, if Rashid Rice, I think we could ride the wave. We have enough players. But yeah, we can go sign. Who I saw is available? Byron Pringle.
Hey,
he's on a practice squad. Why don't we just go sign him?
He knows Patrick Mahomes, so
he knows. He is a few years older, so I don't know I don't know what he looks like. And Kadarius Toney is still available. Imagine that. Can you believe that?
I believe MVS is still available too.
And another person I saw they talked about trading, Demarcus Robinson.
I saw that. Don't want him. Don't want him. Not interested. Pass. If Brett Veach brings him back, then I might have a little more to say.
Okay, all right. Well, it was a package deal. It was Steven Nelson and Demarcus Robinson.
Oh, man, I don't want either one of those two. If I get both those guys, I'm going to take back all the good things I said about Brett Veach. So if that happens, me and Brett Veach are going to have a personal phone call here.
Yeah.
Oh man, that would be awful.
I wonder if anybody has a Steven Nelson jersey. I will buy it from you. Just please let me know.
All right, let Dale know he'll buy Steven Nelson jersey for whatever reason. So
the next time we go to the game together, I'm wearing it.
Oh man. Oh man, at least he's not on the team anymore, I guess.
Hey, that's yeah.
All right, so you had a question about some of these wide receivers, though, right?
Yeah.
Like between a few guys who you'd rather have.
Yeah. So I think there's 3. I think maybe 4 guys. You threw a guy in there that I think I'd be interested in. So I think it would go. Who would you be interested in? Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, D Hop, or Amari Cooper.
I'd be interested in all of the above.
Right, but you had to place them in order. Would you place them in order? Yeah.
I'd put Tyreek Hill first.
Okay.
I'd put Amari Cooper second.
Wow.
Well, now that Amari Cooper last year had such a huge year.
Yeah.
The best year of his career probably. It's hard. Well,
with Joe Flacco.
And now that I
with Joe
say
Flacco.
that, now that I say that, I'm thinking, well, maybe if Davante Adams had a good quarterback, he'd probably be better too. So I take it back. Davante Adams would be second.
Okay.
But I think that's the hardest one for me is 2 and 3. 3 is Amari Cooper and 4th is D-Hop.
Okay.
D-Hop was great in his prime, but I think he is well past his prime at this point.
Yeah.
He's so good. He'll make some catches, but he's not going to just be lighting up the scoreboard like he was before. So,
and I feel like we have a D-Hop on the team already. Juju, right? Yeah. Sure-handed, is going to get open, going to find those soft spots, catch the ball. Like you throw it to him, he's going to catch it, even though he hasn't had a lot of catches this year. But, he's going to catch it most of the time. Well, 9 out of 10 times.
And he's going to start getting more targets, I think, now, too, with Rashee Rice out. So
he'll probably get paid again. Probably leave the Chiefs next year and get, $17-18 million contract
I don't
with
know
another
that he's
team.
going to get as big of a contract again, but he might get himself a good, $10 to $12 million contract again, just depending on what happens here.
Right.
So,
and obviously the Tyreek Hill thing makes the most sense just because he knows the team. He probably knows the playbook. It'd be pretty easy for him to jump right in. The other guys, we've talked about how complex the Chiefs offense is, and I think it might take them a little longer to get adjusted. But Tyreek Hill would be like putting on some old shoes.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is Tyreek Hill said a lot of stuff about Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs since leaving. Do you think fans would forgive him quickly?
Yeah. You give us another ring, we forget. You win. We forget a lot.
Oh, well, yeah. But, I mean, the first week he's back, how do you think fans are going to be reacting to him?
They're going to be fired up. I think he was like one of those things where like he would be a legend in Kansas City if he were to stay. He would have stayed his whole career. A legend.
He would have, but
a legend.
That's
why he did not. And so I think it's
because he would have been, but he left for more money and demanded to be traded for more money.
Right.
Got to pick his team and then went to that team and then from there continue to speak poorly of the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Say how much better his new team was than the Chiefs. And so that is what I'm saying is because of all these things he said.
Yeah.
I mean, our fans going to be as forgiving as you and I will be.
Oh, well, I don't know, but I don't know if I can speak for the people, but I know you and I, we kind of defended why he was saying what he was saying in the sense that like, well, he's with a new team. He's got to give his quarterback confidence. He's got to show this team he's all in. I mean, he can't say, man, I sure do miss Pat throwing me the ball. Well, yes, right. I do think overall our fan, the Chiefs Kingdom is pretty forgiving and they see the bigger picture.
Well, if they'll take Kareem Hunt back, they'll take Tyreek Hill back.
That is exactly right.
So, although Tyreek Hill was not simply asked about these things, he freely gave these things to talk about. And that's the difference here.
Yeah.
Is that, yes, you want to support your new quarterback and team and such, but when you're just freely throwing out these things saying, oh, yeah, Tua's better than Patrick Mahomes, has a better arm, no one's asking you who has the better arm.
Right.
And you're just simply saying that. That's what makes it a difference there is Tyreek Hill is just throwing these things out there just to throw them out there, hear himself talk. But
well, he was trying to get numbers on his podcast.
He's trying. We'll see what happens.
Yes, we will.
All right. Well, let's get into the Saints and Chiefs game here.
All right.
So we got a matchup here against the Chiefs and the Saints. The Saints started out the year really hot. I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better start than the Saints had. They scored 47 and 44 points in their first 2 weeks.
Man.
Yeah, it is incredible. So they're averaging, 45, 46 points a game the first 2 weeks of the season. I mean, just blowing people out. I mean, they played the Panthers at home, and then they went on the road to the Cowboys and put 44 on them in the Jerry Dome.
Yeah.
And then they hosted the Eagles, and then we started realizing, okay, maybe this team's not quite what we thought.
Right.
They lost to the Eagles 12-15 at home. Then they just went to the Falcons last week and lost 24-26. So do we even know who the Saints are yet?
No, I don't think we do. I mean, those blowout games, I think those are bad teams, right? The Panthers and the Cowboys, at least a bad defense.
Yeah.
And so I think that's pretty well. I mean, they had trouble with the Giants, the Cowboys did. I mean, I was shocked. I thought they would have blown them out, but the Giants are for real. Dave all got those boys running around. But anyway, then the last two games, they were pretty close games. I mean, that the Falcons-Saints game, it was the last second field goal, if I remember right. where they kicked it and to take the lead. And so, yeah, they've been pretty close games, but yeah, I think they're going to be, ready to play the Chiefs. And I think the Chiefs will play them close like they have for the last 10 games. Like the Chiefs games have been close the last 10 games. Yeah. So, yeah. But yeah, I don't think we know who they are. Just let it get a little colder and we know who Derek Carr is.
Yep.
He's a 10, 11 win quarterback. And then, yeah.
Yeah, he's a top 15 quarterback, but he's probably not top 10.
Yeah.
So maybe, anyway.
I would say 10 wins. He's like a 10-win quarterback. He'll get you 10 wins, you know. Yeah. And, but then, yeah, I think it's like he needs a lot of help to get you over that. And so he just hasn't had that help, or he's had that help and just hasn't delivered.
Well, the best year he's ever had is the year he got hurt in the last game of the regular season when the Raiders lost in the first game of the playoffs with their backup quarterback. And that was the best year of his entire career. I mean, he had talks of winning the MVP that year.
Yeah.
And, got his huge contract and then never performed that way again. So, but like I said, he's just looking to get you 10 to 15 wins. But, outside of that, I don't know you're going to get much else from him. So, but the Saints, are still averaging 31 points a game, and it's a little bit skewed because of that.
Yeah,
those first 2 games. So they're still first in the league, but I expect that to come way down as the season progresses. But here's the record in close games: 0-2. If the Saints aren't blowing people out, they're losing the game.
There you go. That is true. That's a good stat. I like that.
Yeah. So
where are the Chiefs at offensive wise? Where they rank?
They're 14th in points per game at 23. So
come on, boys.
Not great.
Come on, boys.
But the plus side is their defense is playing lights out.
They have to be like the number 1 defense, right?
As far as scoring or what?
As far as like holding the score. I mean, they just have to, because I don't think anyone scored. Maybe someone scored 20. The Ravens scored 20. Never mind.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's been several games that and the Ravens scored 27, the Bengals scored 26, Falcons scored 22. The Chargers were the first team they held under 20 at 17. At 10.
At 10.
So no, the Falcons scored 17 as well. So yeah. Oh, I was reading you the Chiefs score. So Ravens scored 20. I was like, that didn't sound right.
Yeah.
Ravens scored 20. Bengals scored 25. Falcons scored 17, and the Chargers scored 10. There you go. So T teams have scored 20 or more points. So they're definitely not first in scoring, but they're not at the bottom either.
No. So, situational football. That's what they play.
Yeah. It's like talk about this. They are a bend, don't break kind of team.
Yeah.
So they're going to let you move down the field. They're probably going to let you score on your first possession. That seems to be They've
done it so far. Every game so far.
Yeah. So they seem to be doing that, but after that, they're figuring you out after that first or second drive, and then they're just shutting you out and saying, you will get no more from us.
Yeah. So the interesting thing I think in this game is all the ex-players or former players, I guess I should say, of the Kansas City Chiefs and rival. So we talked a little bit about Derek Carr playing for the Raiders all those years. I think 10 years he played for the Raiders, and Chiefs don't like Derek Carr, and Derek Carr probably does not like the Chiefs, I would say.
Yeah, I think you are correct. And Derek Carr's made that perfectly clear. I'm sure as he's gone to the Saints and saying, "Hey, these guys, this is how you need to play them. This is what you need to do to compete against them and have a chance to win." And I'm sure he's bringing that hatred of the Chiefs right along with him.
Yeah.
So, but there's some guys that left on better notes too, like Willie Gay. Left on a good note. So, I mean, winning a Super Bowl can't be much better than that. But then you have other guys too, like Tyrann Mathieu, who wanted to come back to the Chiefs. And the Chiefs just didn't re-sign him.
Yeah.
Instead, brought in Justin Reid. But then you have some other guys too. You have Colin Sanders and Daniel Passanio, who's on the physically unable to perform list right now. But I mean, that's 4 guys that are on the Saints roster that were former Chiefs players. So
it's like the Chiefs of the South.
Pretty much. So So here's a question for you, since talking about all these players. So would you rather have Tyrann Mathieu or Justin Reid? Because as we just talked about, Reid has won a couple Super Bowls with them now, but
Yeah.
Tyrann Mathieu also helped them get that first Super Bowl in
Yep.
2019. So it's not like he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah. Okay, so let me just say, Justin Reid's a great player. I really like Justin Reid, and he's a Kansas City Chief. But there's something about Tyrann Mathieu and the way he plays and just the fight in him that he has, and he carries all the game. Like, I remember that Super Bowl we lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I remember Tyrann Mathieu screaming at Tom Brady. And also Tom Brady screaming at Tyrann Mathieu, which he didn't get flagged for. And he was like following him off the field, which was pretty crazy. But anyway, just like the fight that Tyrann Mathieu has all the time, thinking that they can win and they can overcome. And so I think really Tyrann Mathieu laid a great foundation for the Kansas City defense. And also watching him play, he was always around the ball. Whether being the first guy or the second guy, he was always there. And just flying around the field was so much fun to watch. And so I think Justin Reid does a little bit of that, but I don't think to the extent that Tyrann Mathieu did. So if I had a choice, I would have taken Tyrann Mathieu. But also I know what Brett Veach was thinking. He's a little older. He's getting older. We have to think about the future. And so that's why we always say in Brett Veach, we trust. So.
Yep. I mean, if you look at the stats, Tyrann Mathieu has all the better stats than him. But
yeah,
the flip side is Tyrann Mathieu has also played in about 70 games more than Justin Reid. So that's a lot more games.
Right.
But even so, he has a whole lot more interceptions, 35 to 8 interceptions.
Wow.
I mean, that's incredible. He has 11 sacks to 6 sacks, so Justin Reid could easily catch that in that time frame. But tackles, Tyrann Mathieu, 653, Justin Reid, 378.
Man.
I mean, just about doubled him up. Not quite, but just about. So that's crazy. But here's the real thing. Championships, Justin Reid 2, Tyrann Mathieu 1. Both, all of those championships come with the Chiefs. So
right.
But Pro Bowls, Tyrann Mathieu 3, Justin Reid 0.
Wow.
All pros, Tyrann Mathieu 4, Justin Reid 0.
Wow.
So, but there's a lot to be said. They play so much different styles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If I had to pick two, I'd also pick Tyrann Mathieu, because Tyrann Mathieu, like you said, he finds his hat everywhere. It doesn't matter if they're throwing the ball 30 yards down the field or if they're 2 yards from the line of scrimmage, Tyrann Mathieu is there.
Yeah.
Now, the flip side of that, sometimes he can get burned a lot because of that.
Yeah.
He finds himself trying to cheat up to find the ball and, they get it past him or whatever. Justin Reid plays a lot more like a cornerback. He plays in the safety position.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Reid, he can bring the heat to and lay you out, but he is a lockdown corner as much as anything else.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
I think really. Justin Reid probably a little bigger than Tyrann. Maybe you're going to tell me. I would say just looking from the TV, Justin Reid looks a little bigger than Tyrann Mathieu.
I would say you're probably right,
but I don't know. That's.
Well, I don't see their.
Okay, well, I really don't think Tyrann. I mean, even I don't think size matters, because Tyrann really did not miss a lot of games for health reasons. I mean, that guy was just always going, and so, yeah.
All right,
that's a good question, though. Good question. I like it.
All right, well, good. So, what do the Chiefs have to do to win this game?
Okay, I think the biggest thing probably we've talked about, we've brushed on, is turnovers. We can't turn the ball over. I like the way we've been turning it over. And so Pat, I think he has 5 interceptions, and it seems like we're putting the ball on the ground, whether it be a running back or a wide receiver or something like that. We can't fumble. I just think we have to clean up the turnovers and clean up the penalties, and I think we're going to win the game easily. Yeah, our defense travels. We don't have to travel because we're in Arrowhead, so it doesn't matter.
That's right. Yep. So I think that, if you keep turning the ball over like they have been, you're not going to win games. I know they've been able to pull out a few of these, but when you start playing some, I don't want to say better competition, because we played some tough teams.
Oh yeah.
Already.
Oh yeah, we have.
But when you start really getting down to it, you're not going to win those games when you're losing that turnover margin by 2 or 3.
Right.
The fact that they are able to win those is just about a miracle. So if you don't believe in miracles, watch the Chiefs apparently, because there's miracle in the making, because there's no way a team should have that many turnovers, and get no turnovers in response.
Yeah.
And then still be able to win the game. It's crazy. It doesn't happen like that. But the other side is they have to get Derek Carr off his feet. He's not a running quarterback, so he's easy to pressure. But if he has all day in the pocket, he will beat you. He's that good to beat you in the pocket. But the other side is the Saints have a great run offense, and so they're averaging almost 150 rush yards a game. They're number 10 in rushing efficiency in the league this year. So, but our run defense so far, knock on wood here, has been pretty good. So, but the Chiefs to get this win, they got to stop the run and get pressure on Derek Carr. You could say that about every team you play: stop the run and get pressure. But that's the strength of this team, is running the ball, and then going to play action to passing. So they got to be able to stop the run, but not bite those linebackers, not bite on the play actions when those come to.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And it's going to be, things to watch for. I think our wide receivers is like, what are they going to do? How are they going to do? Is that going to allow the Saints to put more focus on Travis Kelce because of our wide receivers, and how's he going to overcome that? And then obviously the news that you broke on this podcast with Kareem Hunt being injured would be like another thing to be watching for. Like, what's our offense going to look like? And so, yeah, I think it's going to be a fun game, and I think also having an extra day, if you will, to play, and then knowing that we're going to be off for 2 weeks or 13 days is also good news for the Kansas City Chiefs as they get healthy.
Yeah, well, and so far Derek Carr has been blitzed on 41% of his dropbacks this season. That's the third highest rate in the league, and so he's also same place, third most passing yards against the blitz. So,
oh wow!
So if you blitz, you got to get there. You can't just he's been in the league long enough to know how to set up his protection the right way and to try to block you. So you got to be able to get there. So, all right, score predictions.
Goodness,
what you got here?
So I'm going Chiefs 21, Raiders, or not Raiders. I said Raiders because they're Carr.
Yeah.
New Orleans Saints 17.
All right. I got some close but a little different. Chiefs 27.
Okay.
Saints 20.
All right.
So
I like it. I mean, that's a blowout. 7-point game, blowout.
For the Chiefs, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, last little thing for you. Let's take Dale to school.
All right, here we go. All aboard.
All right, so you can probably get 3 of these, but the third one's going to be the hardest. So the question is, with Rashee Rice out now, first question to set up the question, but do you think that anyone's going to be able to get 1,000 yards this year, either rushing or receiving?
No.
I don't think so either. I think Rashee Rice had the best shot, and now that he's out, I'm not sure that anyone's going to. I think they're going to spread the ball out so much that no one's going to get there. So,
Travis Kelce got such a slow start to begin the year. I just don't think he can. I don't think he can make up 1,000. And then Juju hasn't got. Just no.
Yeah, no. I agree. So that brings us to this question: is who are the last 3 people? Not the last 3 seasons.
Okay. Yeah. Because we haven't had
the last 3 people, different players who've each recorded 1,000 yards receiving.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce.
Yep, that's the 2 I thought you'd get.
Okay, and then the third person would have to be before Dwayne Bowe.
It is not.
Oh.
It was in the year 2000, if that gives you a hint at all.
Tony Gonzalez or Andre Rison?
Derek Alexander.
Oh my goodness.
That's how long ago it was since we had 1,000-yard receiver.
Really?
Yes. 2000 was the last time we had a 1,000-yard receiver before Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce came on.
8 years. Yeah, 8 years in a row. Or 9 or whatever he did.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Dude, that is crazy. So that run. Huh. Wow. Tony Gonzalez never got 1,000.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't get 1,000, but just not.
Right.
but
not with the Chiefs.
not with the Chiefs. So he probably didn't get it with the Falcons either. I wouldn't.
No,
Yes,
but he was just a consistent, probably 800, 900 yard, guy. Man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So give you a little history on Derek Alexander real quick here.
Yeah, please. I think I've forgotten him.
Oh, well, good. I got you then. So Derek Alexander went to the University of Michigan, was picked in the first round, 29th overall by the Cleveland Browns. And so he started with the Cleveland Browns there. And then from there, he went to Baltimore for a couple years. And then he was in Kansas City for the majority of his career.
Yeah.
For 4 years. So the longest stint with any team was with the Chiefs. And so he signed with the Chiefs in 1998 with a 5-year, $17.5 million contract. But when he came to the Chiefs, he also was reunited with his college quarterback, Elvis Grbac. There you go.
Grbac.
Yeah. And so Derek Alexander led the Chiefs with 992 receiving yards and averaged a little over 18 yards per reception that year. And so his best year was in 2000 when he caught 74 passes for 1,391 yards.
Wow.
So that set a Chiefs single season record at that time, which stood until 2018 when Tyreek Hill was able to beat that. So an Achilles injury hampered Derek Alexander's season in 2001 when he just ended up with 470 yards. So little history for you there.
There you go. And the number he wore was
82, I believe.
82. That's right. I'm just looking him up. He's 52 years old. He was born November 6, 1971.
All right. Hey, well, thanks for joining us this episode of the Kingdom Corner. Make sure you like, subscribe, and leave us a great review. Always helps us out. We'll see you next time right here in the Kingdom Corner.